Good.
Hi everybody, my name is Gabriela Castillo, your interviewer for Sounds of the Week artist. And today we'll be speaking with Truth Be Told, our Sounds of the Week artist. Hi, how's it going?
Doing good. Yourself?
Doing really great.
Awesome.
So we had a great time last night at the International Open Mic at Borasti Bar and Grill. What did you think about the event?
Oh man, it was great. A lot of energy, great people coming out. It was fun being on the mic. I felt at home. Well, I was back home, so I felt great.
Good. I actually had a really good time listening to you and all the other artists that came out, but I was very impressed with your work.
Thank you.
So I wanted to tell our audience a little bit about who you are.
All right.
Truth be told.
Well, I'm a full-time spoken word artist. I got my career started here in Louisville, Kentucky. I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I've opened for acts such as Flowetry, Mint Condition, Dwelle, Bilal. I've had commercials on BET. I have a contract that I'm working with right now with Dove and Twitter. It's been a pretty productive life. I've enjoyed it.
Tell me a little bit more about your project with Dove and how that came about.
It's kind of cool actually. Dove and Twitter have a program going on now called Speak Beautiful. And what they're doing is they're working to empower women to make themselves feel better about themselves. According to their stats, only 4% of women think they're beautiful.
Wow, that's not good stats.
No, because all these ugly ass guys walking around, and you know, there's more than 4% that think we're good, so we need to fix that. It just so happens I had a poem entitled Beautiful, so I got a film crew together and we mocked up a commercial for Dove. They loved it. We worked some things out, and long story short, this fall you'll actually see a commercial with me performing the poem for Dove online with Twitter, possibly on television and some other channels worldwide.
Oh, wow, I cannot wait to see it. That's exciting.
Thank you, thank you.
You also have, I have right here, I'm holding Oxymoron Nicotine Neverland.
Good job, right.
Your score. And it is it your 5th album on poetry? But tell me a little bit about it.
It's my 5th album. It's my first official album as an artist. Look, beautiful model holding the CD. Ain't that lovely? But no, I have, it's my first project. I'm very proud of it. It was produced by a Grammy-nominated team, Ben Franklin and Ali Nervous. Goes by the name of songwriter Ali. And it's 10 songs, has like a neo-soul, jazz type vibe to it, a little bit of hip-hop to it. It's available on iTunes and Google Play, and I'm very proud of it. It's also the first spoken word album, first poetry album in over 20 years to be seriously considered for the Grammy for spoken word or for urban alternative.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, I was not aware that's partially my own ignorance, but I was not aware that the Grammy had a spoken word award or nomination.
Well, no, it's not your ignorance. It's actually, they just started doing it 2 years ago. Normally the spoken word category was only for audiobooks, but because spoken word poetry now it's growing on a cultural basis and a global basis, they now see fit that to have spoken word artists actually compete in that same category as well. So I'm honored.
Well, thank you. So I have a feel that you're a little bit of an entrepreneur, or a lot of an entrepreneur going on. There's a lot of entrepreneurship going on in here.
Absolutely.
You're also a book writer. You came out with your book this year?
My first book this summer is entitled Words I Remember and Some I Forgot. For anybody who's followed my career as an artist, the first half of the book, the words that I remember, they'll be something that they actually will be familiar with. The second half are newer poems or rarely performed pieces, and that's the Some I Forgot. So in total, it's about 100 pages, about 35 poems, and it's pretty interesting.
And if we want to find out some more information about where you're going to be, you have a book tour going on too, though, right?
I do.
Yes, your book is touring.
The book tour and the CD tour. The CD is going on now. The book tour starts in November, and they will be going nationwide. If you want to find some details about that, just feel free to visit the website. It's truth.told.net, and all the information's there, as well as all my social media stuff.
Yes, so it's www.truth, the letter B, told.net.
There you go.
All right, so you guys know where to go to find some more information on this wonderful guy,
yes.
Truth Be Told.
So make sure you guys check that out.
Now, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with the name Truth Be Told? Where did that come from?
Actually, I never came up with the name. I used to host in Louisville, Kentucky. There used to be an open mic at this place called Expressions of You on the corner of 18th and Ali. So while I performed there as the host, there was an older gentleman who used to always come, and every time I got off the microphone, he's like, "Yeah, go ahead, you speak that truth, you speak that truth." And then one day he pulled me to the side and was like, "You have a lot of truth in what you say, so make sure you allow the truth to be told wherever you go." And he always called me Truth, and then the name just kind of stuck after that.
Huh. Can the truth be a little cold sometimes?
Yeah, a little bit, little chilly, a little partly cloudy at times.
A little inside joke going on here. Also, you were telling me earlier when we met at the International Open Mic last night. You were telling me a little bit of your experience. You're also a speaker for the youth.
Yes.
And there is actually an organization that you work with.
Yes.
So would you tell me a little bit about your experience with that organization and your experience in general when speaking to the youth?
Absolutely. It's a group that we just founded recently. It's called La Finiquera Writers Guild, La PWG for short. Ellie Hutcherson, who's an amazing person, shout out to Ellie, brought me on as an artist and a board member on this. And we go into schools, we speak to the youth, we do writing workshops. I'm one of the teaching artists, and with my class in particular, I teach students how to actually get comfortable with performing in a public setting, as far as performing on stage, help them with their writing as well, and just be comfortable finding their own voice as an artist.
What do you find in this? What is something that you feel that these children, what age group do you work with, first of all?
Oh, I work from elementary age children all the way to college. So they're just everything in between.
In the high school and middle school setting, what do you find in common in the voices of the adolescents, per se?
Man, I'm talking about some amazing voices. A lot of these kids, they simply need the opportunity to be heard. And a lot of them don't believe that anyone is truly listening to them. And they have a lot of talent, they have a lot to provide and to offer. And they just need a place to cultivate it and to let it shine. And so that's one of the reasons why the arts are so important in schools, so that kids have that opportunity and they can do that versus the alternative, which is going to the streets or just not doing anything and not fulfilling their true destiny.
I really do advocate for that because, of course, I'm an educator myself.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. And let me see if I can pronounce this. La Finiquera.
Yes.
Writers Guild.
You're batting 1,000 today.
I'm good. And can you also, so now that this is a great way to transition into, so you go out and you help the kids,
right,
and the adults finding their writing talents and experience and develop it.
Right.
So how did you yourself start writing? How did that happen?
That started in high school, probably my junior year. There's a friend of mine I had, her name was Tracy Jacks. And all right, so Tracy one day was at her locker and wasn't feeling the greatest. And so I wrote a poem to try to cheer her up because I asked her how she was doing. She was like, I don't feel so bad. You know how it is sometimes. And so that was the first time I was actually inspired to write something that wasn't a school assignment. So I wrote her the poem during one of my physics classes and gave it to her in between periods. During lunchtime, she's showing her friends like, oh, look, I got my poem and my friend gave me this. And it was cool. I was happy that I cheered her up. But then when I got home, her boyfriend called me, and that was interesting because I didn't give him my number. So that was like my first experience with learning how your words can shape somebody to either feel good or to feel angry. And so I didn't really continue in high school, but that was the first point where I really started doing something as an artist.
But that's interesting. You do mention that you were, in your physics class, writing this poem, and then when you get to college, then you were a physics and mechanics major, and then boom, switch to communications.
Yeah.
And how did that even all start and then lead into a career in?
Well, I started as a double major in mechanical engineering and physics. Didn't want to be behind a cubicle for 8 to 12 hours per day, so ended up switching to communications, started writing, started hosting an open mic at Kentucky State University called Lyrical Therapy. They had an event that was going on with 2 Def Jam poets. That's when slam poetry was really big on HBO. And 2 of the guys, one named Black Ice, who's a good friend of mine now, and another named Shehan, who's also a good friend. At the time, I didn't know these guys. I just knew them on TV. So it's like, oh my God, I'm seeing these people. And I had the chance to open for them. And they were like, you know what? You really need to stick with this. You have a talent. And just them giving me that inspiration and this being their field propelled me into just going full time and going at it. And things were progressing for a while. I started moved to Louisville, had a regular 9 to 5, and then was also performing when I wasn't at work. And so one day I was at home and I was like, all right, God, let me know what you want me to do. Should I pursue my passion or should I keep working? And whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. The very next day, I was let go from my job.
Ooh,
So,
God spoken.
Pretty much. And my boss wasn't too happy about it. She was all teary-eyed. And, I'm sorry, we don't want to let you go, but you're a great person. But I knew that was my sign. And from that day forward, I never looked back. And it's truly been a blessing to me.
Oh, and now it's a blessing to us because we had a chance to listen to you yesterday. Now we can find you in your books. We can also find you on your album. And, well, and I hope to see some more. And hopefully you'll be traveling some of our schools here in Louisville.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look forward to coming back.
Oh, yeah. I would love for you to come back. I cannot wait. You let me know. So, I have I guess I want to ask you the same question. I ask this to all the artists. What inspires you? And with that, could you also tell me a little bit about the poem that you're most proudest of?
Life inspires me, for better or for worse. Great experiences we go through, social issues, things that I personally deal with as an individual, ups and downs, movies, different things that I see. Just any type of art can create, can generate and create that the other art that comes. And my process can be random, whether I write one line and that one line sticks around for like 2 or 3 years, or I see something and it's just a rush of inspiration and a poem comes out at that moment. And it's been kind of like on the whole scale for all of that, just a multitude of things. As far as the poem that I'm most proud of, it would probably be this piece that I have that's entitled My Testimony.
And it's in your book, right?
Yes, it's in the book.
You can find it in the book.
Yes, you can find it in the book, available on truthbetold.net. And it basically describes why I love what I do. It talks about what I've come from, what I've endured, and how what my gift has been able to help others. I had a gentleman one time at a show I did in Cincinnati who told me that a poem that I wrote literally saved his life. He was contemplating suicide, and his friends asked him to come out, and after seeing me perform, and one of the poems that I performed talked about suicide and my personal experience with it, he just felt moved to not give up anymore. And so that poem, My Testimony, embodies all of that and just says how important it is that we find our gifts and that we work in our gifts, because if you have a responsibility once you find out what it is that you're supposed to do.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, and we're getting ready to wrap up, but I always ask at the end, do you have any words for our viewers?
Yes. Dream crazy, be crazy. The only thing that separates good from great are those who are crazy enough to think that they can do it. They don't have any classes or courses on how to be a full-time artist or a full-time poet. So if you have a passion, by all means, go for it. You have to. Nobody can be you except for you. So go hard.
Thank you so much. Truth be told, it was a pleasure speaking with you today.
My pleasure.
Again.
Look forward to doing it again.
Oh, definitely. Next open mic.
Yes.
All right, guys. That was all for the interview of our Sounds of the Week artist. Today we were speaking with Truth Be Told. So please check him out on truthbetold.net. And those of you that came out to our international open mic, thank you so much. And don't forget, our next one is in October the 28th, Wednesday at 8 o'clock right here at Barasti Bar and Grill. I'm Gabriela Castillo. Have a great rest of your day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All of them.
Everything.
Wherever you watching
Google
this,
Plus.
be happy.
Do it.
Whatever
YouTube.
you doing, just watch it. Just
do it.
All of it.
Woo!
ALLOIT. All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Todito, mi amor.
What she said?